The Presidio Grip Case is hands down my favorite case for the iPhone 7 right now. It's slim, feels really good in the hand, and has a cool Tron-like look going on. Not convinced? Let's check it out. The new Speck Presidio Grip is an updated version of the CandyShell Grip series. It's still built with a two-piece single mold with a hard plastic exterior, now with a matte coated finish. An improvement over the gloss on the CandyShell series. There's also a slight design change, cutting down on the larger logo and moving it to just the corner, giving it a really clean and simple look now. The rubber grip has also been slightly changed, now sporting rounded strips, whereas the previous model had a flat design. And now the inner soft rubber shell sports their new Impactium Shock Barrier and wraps right around the bezel of the screen. To install the new iPhone 7, squeeze into the volume side first, then snap the opposite corners in place. The buttons do stick out and are covered in the rubber shell, making it easy to find and providing a clicky feedback. A large cutout for the mute rocker, cutouts throughout the bottom with a large opening for the lightning cable that should allow for most third-party cables and docks, and finally a large cutout for the new dual lens camera. Now in terms of size, the grip adds a few millimeters in width and height, and about 2 millimeters in thickness, slightly less than the CandyShell series, but just enough to keep the camera hump off surfaces. With the reduced sizes, it should accommodate most docks. Here we test the Apple Lightning dock and it fits right on the dot. All that reduction in size leads to the main purpose of the case. This, to have the iPhone in your hand comfortably and most importantly confidently, something Apple has taken away from me with the curved edges. The grip lines leave something for my fingers to grasp onto, and the new rounded edges on it feel a lot smoother in the hand compared to the flat design on the previous case. They're also laid out so it's aligned right where I rest my palm. Especially for the 7 Plus, this helps during one-handed usage, playing games, typing important messages, and the top layout helps when taking selfies and using the volume buttons as the shutter button. But with all that added grip, you may be worried it'll get caught in your pockets. But throughout my tests and day-to-day usage, I didn't have any issues with pocketability. Thanks to the limited and spread out usage of the rubber grip, it never caught onto my pockets during removal. My take on the grip case is that it's a proactive measure to protection. So instead of focusing solely on protecting your iPhone when it's dropped, the grip case actually helps to prevent you from dropping it at all. That's not to say it doesn't have protection built in just in case though. There's a fair sized rubber bezel around the screen, slightly smaller than the previous model, but offers similar tabletop protection and helps with sliding when face down. When the other way around, the rubber grip also helps with preventing sliding around on tables. My favorite upgrade is the new matte texture over the glossy finish on the CandyShell, which they claim to be scratch resistant now, so let's test it out. I'd say scratch resistant is pretty accurate. But what's really important is this. Speck introduced a new Impactium Shock Barrier, which is a rib cage around the perimeter of the case designed to spread any impact on contact. Combined with the screen bezel, Speck rates this to withstand a drop from 10 feet high, which I can't test, but I do feel I can trust this case for day-to-day usage after all my tests. After some thorough testing, I started to notice some wear on the rubber used in the case. It doesn't make it any less effective, but will have a worn down look after a while. Do note this is under pretty extreme abusive conditions, but over time, either through laying on tables or having it in and out of pockets, the rubber will wear down on its own. It retails for $40 or $45 depending on the 7 or the 7 Plus models. It comes in a variety of colors. I've got the gray you see here, and links to the case can be found below or to the right of my head. The Presidio Grip Case is lightweight, protective, and feels really good in the hand. So for what it's trying to achieve, I think it's done so perfectly. It's also at the same price point as the Apple silicone case, but has a lot more protective features built in, so it's a great alternative if you don't have to show off that Apple logo. Anyways, that's it. If you love what you see and want to support me in creating more reviews, head over to our Patreon and enter our monthly giveaway. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to see more, and leave a comment below letting me know what case you want me to review next. I rest my case.